Okay, okay. Enough of John Cougar Mellencamp, right? Enough. Had enough of it. Got to get rid of it. Turn it down. Turn everything down here. John Cougar Mellencamp, Cherry Bomb. I mean, what? Nobody listens. Does anybody listen to that anymore? Cherry Bomb. Give me a break. My name is Paul K. Lemire. This is Your City, Your Voice, coming to you live from the studios of 4680Q Radio, downtown Niagara Falls, Ontario, Canada. And it's Trash Talking Tuesday, and I'm just still smiling about yesterday's show. It was so fantastic having Alan McKay in here from PTA Property Taxpayers Alliance, talking about the things that I talk about on a weekly, well, almost a daily basis. Um, your taxes, how they're spent, how we should view the custodians of our money, sitting down at the council on Queen Street here every Tuesday night every 3 weeks. And, they work for us. They're public servants. So never be afraid to question them on their expenditures. They're the guardians of our tax dollars. That's what the show is about, how we can find efficiencies, a doge, if you will. And yeah, what a great show. If you haven't seen it, go tune in. It was a good show yesterday. Alan was in. He's coming back. He's coming back. There's shows that we can do on a lot of things, especially regional council. So it was a fantastic show. And thank you, Ellen, for coming in. I really appreciate it. And we're going to do more of those because we need it before the election. The election comes up in a year. And we want everybody involved, everybody having a voice, everybody getting out to vote. That's the way it should be. It's your money. You should take an interest. And if we can help you get there, then this show is worth every second that I spend on it. Okay, our weather, great. Look at this weather. It's going to rain maybe this afternoon, but it's been really nice. It's cooling down now. We're getting into the fall, and we get a couple weeks, and we're back into September. And then, of course, we get into the cooler weather at night, nice during the day. And we're not that far away from October. I hate to say that because we haven't even hit Labor Day yet, but the truth is the truth. Back to school, fall weather. And, the hot days were only last week. I already miss them. And there's going to be people paying big money to have them again, come November. But we're luckier than the Eastern Seaboard, where this Hurricane Erin is wobbling around with huge winds, Category 3 hurricane right now. They're battening down the hatches and looking for evacuations in the low areas around the East Coast, right up the seaboard, the Eastern Seaboard, Atlantic Seaboard. And who knows where it's going to go and what it's going to do or what damage it's going to cause, but it has the potential to be a big one, a big slammer, 600 miles wide. It's huge, Buffalo, huge. But the guys on the coast are hoping it makes that right-hand turn and it swings up into the Atlantic between Bermuda and the East Coast. But just in case, they're telling people evacuate the lowlands because anything can happen. So I'm glad we're not getting that. I don't think we're going to get any remnants of it or anything crazy like that. I think it's going to be pretty cool. But at the end of the day, who knows? Who knows? I'm looking across the street at the meteor crater and something's happening over there. Now, yesterday, it was going on while Alan and I were in the studio here talking about the budget, because that right there is part of our budget, of course, spending money on that. But it looks like they're taking core samples. They got the big truck for core samples, and they got a surveyor's transit out. So I don't know what the heck they're looking at, but they got the board up in the transit, looking down the site for level. I guess they're gonna have to dig a hole there or something. So when they start, now this is another thing with our city. They want to go into the real estate business. This is part of it. They're going to team up with some developer and go into the real estate business so they can play around with money. I guess that's why. They figure they can't get anybody to develop it. They're going to do it themselves in conjunction with somebody else and set up the Niagara Falls Real Estate Company or whatever the heck they're going to call it. Anyway, we own the hydro. We had NRBB, the Niagara Regional Broadband. They sold for how much money? We don't know. Nobody will open the books. We don't know. Nobody will tell us. I know we had 22 million because that's what they yanked out of it. They got it as a payment last year from Niagara Falls Holding Company, Holdco, the hydro. but I figure it's around $43 million and maybe more. So where's their other 25 million? Where's their money? Show me the money. Nah, we never know. But anyway, it looks like they're going to do something. Gary and Mike, what do you think they're going to find in those core samples? You know, slag, tar pitch, whatever you want to call it, it's in there. It's already spent $2 million to clean it up, and they might have to spend some more once these guys finish with the core samples. Who knows? But that's what's going on over there. We got to get a report. What's going on? Anybody know out there? Somebody will comment. If you do, comment on the video, and I'll let everybody know. Before we get into the show, and we got lots to talk about. A lot to talk about today. There's lots going on in the world, and we'll get into that. But first, my sponsors: Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop, Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue, Hamel Machine Company, and Tabernac Niagara Parks Commission. Listen, we're getting into the fall here. You didn't do your summer checkup, and you know you got away with it, but you're not going to get away with checking your car out before winter. So you still have a few trips to make. We still have another, week or so, a week and a half of August. You're going to go to the exhibition or something. You're going to go somewhere. Labor Day weekend, you might be going somewhere before the kids go back to school. Take your car into Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop. Get your car checked over. You don't want to wait till winter. You're going to procrastinate. I know how you are. You procrastinate. Then before you know it, snow's flying and you're rushing in to try to get your car checked out because it broke down in the cold November rain. You don't want to do that. Go to Wild Bill's. He'll throw your car on his diagnostic equipment. He'll check out all your air codes, fix them, check your brakes, check your air conditioning, check your heater, because winter's coming up. You got to get those things checked. Be proactive. Get your car in there early so you don't hit the winter rush. And you're going to be happy. Your car's going to be happy. Your kids are going to be happy. Your dog's going to be, everybody's going to be happy. Let me put it that way. And if you get in a wreck, don't forget, Wild Bill's got the full body shop down there. Take your car in with a couple of ding-dongs and bring it back to you in showroom condition. Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop, Oakwood Drive, next to the Kia dealership. You can't go wrong. WildBillsAuto.ca is their website. Check it out. And while you're there, don't forget, like this video. Subscribe to the video, or don't like it, whatever you think. Subscribe, leave a comment, but subscribe. That gets the video out to more people. Let's make this a big party before the election. We're headed for 200 viewers, 200 subscribers. Let's go. We want to get to more and more and more. The more the merrier here. The more the merrier. The more subscribers, the more it gets out to people. The more people can respond and be involved in what happens in our city. Make sure you subscribe. Hit that subscribe button. And I thank you very much to all our subscribers. Couldn't do this without you. Couldn't do this. We want this to go good. And to be able to go good, we need subscribers, people tuning in and spreading the word. So, where do we go here today? Where do we go? We'll have more from our other sponsors later. But yesterday's show, just to touch on that again, it was fantastic. I've had great, a lot of views on it, a bunch of comments, which we'll get into on Thursday's show. I'll let the comments pile up, and then we'll go through them on Thursday as part of that show. But Alan McKay was fantastic. The guy knows his stuff. He knows exactly what he's talking about. He has the same focus on city council and regional council, provincial, federal, it doesn't matter. He has the same focus as I do. We want to make sure our taxpayer dollars are being spent right. And he has a lot of information on region. Like, these numbers astounded me and astounded a lot of people. When you talk about cost of city councils, well, we like to compare the Niagara region to Hamilton, right? Because Hamilton's got a few more people, but we're pretty close. But the cost of their city council is $1.645 million. The cost of our councils in the 13 different cities in the region is $5.07 million, like 4.5 times what it costs, and you don't think that we can save money by cutting out 126 politicians? It's unbelievable. And these numbers really hit home when you see them in black and white. If you don't believe it, there it is. You can look at it yourself. There it is. The numbers are there. They don't lie. Alan gave that to me. And the sunshine list of our executives for the city of Hamilton, for their fire chiefs and city managers, the total cost to Hamilton is let's see, what is this now? What the heck now? I'm going to lose here we go. The cost for the fire chief and city managers is $2.669 million for us. For Hamilton, $1.7 million. So a difference of almost $1 million in pay. Different of $1 million. That's what we save if we had one of each of these rather than having one for each of the 13 municipalities. So we save $1 million. The average cost of Hamilton is $202,000 per person. Here it's $259,000. So big difference there. So we want to be more efficient. We want to find efficiencies. And the first place we start is, of course, the region. Now, Doug Ford, of course, wanted some kind of amalgamation. It never happened, but the Property Taxpayers Alliance is pushing big time, is delegating and pushing to make this one big Niagara. Now, I don't know if everybody agrees with one big Niagara or not. Some people do, some people don't. But when you hear Alan talk about it, it makes perfect sense. So we've got to talk about this more. Alan's going to come back. We're going to look at some different angles in this whole thing. He's going to be back. So look for him back. I'll let you know. Don't worry when he comes back in. So all of the region's muckety mucks, including King Jimmy, Serge Filicetti, I don't have a nickname for him yet, and our MPP, the Cheeto Bandito, are in Ottawa at the Association of Municipalities of Ontario Conference, pushing for Niagara Falls. That's right. This conference is kind of important as these high-ranking officials from the provincial government get together with provincial ministers and policymakers. They all get together for meetings on pressing local issues across the province. So it's their chance to talk to all these big shots that run the province and pitch whatever we need. Now, MPP Wayne Gates is bending ears regarding the South Niagara wastewater treatment plant, something that's critical for us because we have a new hospital going in and there's going to be a lot of development around that hospital, which is not going to be possible if we don't get this South Niagara wastewater plant. And of course, we talked a little bit about that yesterday, where it's probably going to cost us, they said $400 million. It's probably going to double that by the time they get down to it. And at the end of the day, the region's broke. They don't have the money. So if they don't get money from somewhere else, tabernacle, they're going to have to get it from us, the taxpayers. And I'm telling you, if that happens, we're looking at double-digit tax increases for the next 50 years. It's not going to be funny. So he's there and he's protecting local health with these emergency wards being closed down on weekends and stuff like that. So that's his goal. Not a bad thing. Good for Wayne, but you got to understand Wayne's NDP, which means he has really no voice. He can go and advocate all he wants, but if you're not with the prevailing powers in Toronto at Queen's Park, it's pretty tough to get anything done. But it's good that he's up there advocating, and I'm sure Jimmy and will be talking about it as well. So that's our problem. That's what he's up there talking about. It. They're all in Toronto right now, I guess, or in Ottawa right now. In Ottawa, they're in Ottawa. That's right. And people have to pony up. It's going to be the people ponying up if the province doesn't. Now, don't get me wrong. It's still your money. If you get it from the province, it's still coming out of your pocket. If you get it from the city, it's coming out of your pocket. But if you get it from the province, at least the whole province is sharing. We're getting the money not just from Niagara Falls. We're getting it from, you know, all the whole province of Ontario, because all the taxpayers that kick into the province we're using that money. So we're getting help from other people. Whereas if we just do it, from in Niagara Falls or in the region, you're getting 13 municipalities that they're drawing from. The region gives us the money, but so we can get some from the Fed, some from the provincial. At least it's not coming out of our own pocket directly, but don't worry. Anything that comes from the government is your money, comes out of your pocket too. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens, but we do need this wastewater plant. Region's broke. Not only do they not have 400 million, probably closer to 700 million to build this new plant, they need 400 million just to refurbish the old ones because they're decrepit. They let them go. So it's going to be interesting to see where they get their money from. It really is. Okay, do you like salad? Who out there likes salad? I'm not a big salad guy, but I'll eat salad. I don't like the driveway lettuce in the salad. That's my problem. Well, guess what? You're gonna love walking around the city. Your walks are gonna be fantastic. Forget about the $17 million NST trail. Don't walk on that. Walk on the streets because they're gonna be spraying the weeds with vinegar. Now, you know the stuff that you read on the internet, you mix it all up, you spray it on the weeds, they drink it up, and then they're back the next day. Yeah, that stuff. They're trying that. Spectrum Resource Group is going to spray the weeds with vinegar to get rid of them. Yeah, well, I don't know who came up with this idea, but I've never seen it work. This is great news for Spectrum, though. If they get the contract, there's going to be nonstop spraying, and they're going to be getting nonstop money. Because this stuff really doesn't work. I mean, who hasn't tried the solution already and been mad because they spray their weeds, they go a little bit brown, and then they're back in a week? I mean, I don't know about this one. A good thing it's a pilot project, and they're not, they may not keep it. But I mean, listen, since the government got rid of, these environmentalists got rid of our good Roundup, the stuff that really kills weeds for good, and 2,4-D, the stuff that not only killed weeds, but it kept the rat population under control because the rats run on this stuff and get it on their paws and bodies and it kills them. Yeah, beautiful stuff. And the good stuff, I call it. The good stuff. You could smell that it was working. It had that smell. You knew that smell was going to kill stuff. But vinegar, it doesn't smell like it's going to kill anything. As a matter of fact, we eat it. So it's going to stink like the salad bar at the Ponderosa. Is that a good thing? You tell me. Do you think this is going to work? I don't know. We'll find out, and we're going to pick up the tab for this little experiment. So they say the vinegar is not absorbed into the plant, does not remain active in the soil. How's it going to kill them? There's no lasting environmental impacts. You can see how it works, can't you? It doesn't. Can't even imagine what's going to cost the taxpayers. I don't know. I don't know about this idea. Weeds are tough. I mean, most people who have no weeds on their lawn usually somehow they smuggle the good stuff in from golf courses and spray at night when nobody's looking. That's what I've been told anyway. I don't know. That's what I've been told. Salad coming right up. Thanks to the reviews, Ray Spiteri for the article. Enjoy your salad. Over to Clifton Hill. Has anybody seen this maniac racing down Clifton Hill in a wheelchair? I just don't get it. I don't get how he gets away with it. The review asks people what they think. Well, you want to know what I think? Here's my take. It's a real dumb thing to do. And why the guy isn't fined for it, I don't know. He should be told to stop, and then he should be fined. I mean, he's not only going to harm himself. Eventually, he's going to take a tumble. He claims to be a professional. Yeah, well, guess what? When a car pulls out and you smash into the side of it, and you're racing down Clifton Hill at 30 miles an hour in a wheelchair, yeah, you better be a professional. But the sad part is he could clip a tourist or somebody else going down like a maniac. I mean, come on, he says his brakes, you know how the brakes work on a wheelchair. Come on, he says that. and he's going to hurt somebody else or hurt himself. Why are the cops letting him do this? I don't know. I mean, he said he does it every day at 2 o'clock, between 2 and 3 o'clock on Clifton Hill. Steps at the top and just flies down it right through that intersection. And, if his brakes fail, he's going to end up in the hornblower boat. I mean, it's not like this guy wouldn't be easy to catch by the cops. This is nuts, and I think it should be stopped immediately. I mean, there's other stunters that do stunt things, and if they did that on Clifton Hill, they'd be stopped. I don't know why they let this guy. I mean, really, to me, I couldn't care less. I mean, let the guy do whatever he wants as long as, but I worry about other people. If this guy does a flip and gets injured, that's up to him. He thinks he's a daredevil, no helmet or nothing that I saw. But if he hurts somebody else, then that's on the cops and on the city and on the whoever else runs that Clifton Hill. I don't get how he gets away with it. I know some people's going to disagree with me. Oh, it's really cool, a guy in a wheelchair, blah, blah, blah. No, it isn't cool. It isn't cool. It's dangerous. What's really cool is somebody going over the falls in a barrel. That's cool. But they don't let them do that because they could injure themselves and kill themselves. And they got to be rescued, and they could hurt the guys who have to rescue them. Yeah, this has got to stop. I don't care. Stop it. Stop it. Welcome to the circus. This isn't, it's already a circus. We don't need this kind of stuff. And what really gets me too is all the people at the bottom of Clifton Hill begging and everything else. I mean, if you set up a guitar case open and played songs on Clifton Hill, you get roasted. They tell you to leave. Can't do that on Clifton Hill. But you can beg for money at the bottom of it, and all the homeless people hanging around, making a mess. I don't get it. Like, what is it? What is it with this wheelchair guy that they let him do this? Doesn't make sense. They got to clean up Clifton Hill. It's enough of a circus already. We don't need this. Congratulations to the guy. You got a lot of balls to be doing it. I'll give you that. I wouldn't do it. But they got to stop it. I mean, that's ridiculous. It's crazy. Insanity. We got enough of a circus here. Okay, over to my second sponsor, Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue. You know y'all like pizza. So where do you get your pizzas from? Well, you want to get your pizza from somebody that has a consistent build. They know how to make a pizza. They know how to do it consistently. You also want to get your pizza from someone who uses fresh ingredients and someone who knows how to make sauce and crust, because that's your ingredients. I mean, good cheese, good sauce, good crust. You got a winner, cook it right, you're good to go. And that's what Pete's Pizza does. They use the Mancini family recipe that's been around for 40 years. Believe me, you can't beat their pizza, and they're no slouches when it comes to wings and poutine, steak and cheese poutine, panzerotti. They do it all for you, and they make it so easy. You pick up the phone and dial 905-374-2222. Order your pizza. It's there in a half an hour, fresh and hot. Ask my buddy Tony Nero. He'll tell you. Or you can go to Dine and Dash or whatever it's called. Skip the Dishes, Diner, whatever they're called. I don't know what they're called. Can't keep track of them all. But they use all of that. Just fantastic. Open till 2 in the morning on Friday and Saturday for your convenience. And guess what? They're opening a new store at the corner of Kaler and Thorold Stone Road, where the old Pie Guys used to be, I believe. And so all you great people out there in the northwest end of Niagara Falls that couldn't find a good pizza down that way, now you got it. The first week of September, they're opening up for you. Pete's Pizza, Victoria Avenue. Support our sponsors. They support the show. Tell them Paul from Your City, Your Voice sent you. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Okay, oh man. Story in the review about downtown and the move to fix it. But I don't know. Can you really expect the council that screwed it all up to fix it? Now, the University of Niagara Falls is supposed to be the catalyst to a new vibrant downtown. And I have to admit, I do drive down the city, the Queen Street, once or twice a week to see what's going on, and it does look better. It does look better. I mean, you still got a lot of unsightly areas downtown, buildings that have no tenants in them. They look pretty dilapidated, and you have the whole corridor from Bridge Street to Queen Street up Erie Avenue. That looks like a pretty big mess. One decrepit building standing on Erie Avenue. The other ones were burned down around it, and they left this old building that's a hunk of junk. Nobody's ever going to use it. Burn out. They let it stand. It's unsightly. I don't know why they didn't knock that down too. Got to take care of these little problems before you can really say Queen Street is back. And there's a lot of city property down here, like beside the bus terminal and the meteor crater right across the street that looks like a wasteland. They talk about regular GO train runs, King Mayor Jim the Weird. And people come to the city, and what's the first thing they see is that big bunch of mess. And, it's been this way for years, too. So, this isn't a complaint that just all of a sudden people are complaining about it. No, it's been like this for a lot of years. It's not getting any better and hasn't gotten any better. I mean, yes, downtown itself, right on Queen Street, is looking a little bit better. At night, kind of sketchy at night. The daytime, you got a lot of people wandering around doing weird stuff. Believe me, I sit right here. When you see me here, I'm talking to the camera, and then I'm looking over here. Look, it's because there's something weird going on out there. Sometimes I tell you about it. Sometimes I don't. But Mayor Jim says he's going to force the decrepit building owners to use their vacant stores for retail. And I just have to laugh at that one. How are you going to force somebody to use a vacant store for retail if you can't make any money? It's a great idea. Let's see you do it. Let's see you enforce it. They've been sitting there for decades now. And by some miracle, all of a sudden, they're going to convince the owners to open a retail store there or to refurbish them to the point where a retail store could open in them. Nice thought, please. Now, unless the taxpayers are willing to heavily subsidize these guys, they probably won't do anything. And we don't have any money. Sorry, we've got no money. The mayor says they will be rigorously enforcing its property standards and other relevant bylaws. Well, yeah. Okay, when? Today, tomorrow, when? He gives a 3 to 5 year timeline, but he gave that for development of the meteor crater. He was right in the studio here last election saying that's going to happen. And it's been closing in on 4 years, and hey, it's still there. Still the big hole on Ferry Street. Still the big hole at the old boathouse in Chippewa. Nothing happening. So 8 years later, I'm looking at the meteor crater, and there's some guys in there doing core samples, and maybe we'll see something before the next election, maybe, which will be good for Jimmy. He's running again. I don't know. But, they do this stuff, and they take away the conveniences for the city people who come downtown to go to the businesses down here. It was a beautiful parking lot. Took it out for nothing. And, Tony Branca, he's been in business on Queen Street for 50 years, probably. He knows. You can put a lipstick on a pig, but it's still a pig. The mayor says we're going to connect the roundabout to Thorold Stone Road, and that's not his call, number one. Wait for the region. And number two, the region's broke too. They're not the only ones broke the city. The region's broke too. That's why it hasn't been completed. My buddy Chopper told me that, and he was right. I hope I live to see it. I hope I live to see Queen Street back to the glory days that I saw when I was a kid. My grandmother, the house is right there, the White House, and the one I spent a lot of time down here as a kid, and it was fantastic. I hope it comes back. I would love to. Unfortunately, if you say I'm pessimistic, well, you're probably right. I mean, I've seen this talked about for my whole life since the 70s, late 70s, when It just took that nosedive and nothing's happened. So I'm a little bit pessimistic. I'm hopeful, and I'm cautiously optimistic that it's going to happen. Let's hope it does. Let's hope it does for Niagara Falls sakes. We need a vibrant downtown. We really do. Can these guys get it going again? I don't know. Thanks to Ray Spiteri for the great article in the review. Okay, let's move over to the Air Canada strike. Yep, they went on strike on Saturday, Friday at midnight, on strike Saturday. All flights closed down. People stranded all over the world, like 100,000 people around the world stranded by this strike. Canadians mostly, of course. Look at this. Oh, we got some more trucks coming in here. Landshark Group. Ooh, Landshark. Are they bringing beer to the guys? No, it's a big truck coming in. I don't know what they're going to do. But anyway, hundreds of thousands of travelers stranded. Can't get home. Can't find flights. And, they call this the peak summer season. I mean, well, there you go. But it's going to be a while before they go back to work because the union told them, don't go back to work. Now, the government said they're an essential service and they ordered them back to work, but they're not the CN or the Posties. What they are is Air Canada, and they said, we're not going back to work. Their union, CUPE, Canadian Union of Public Employees, or whatever they're called, they've been without a contract for about 8 months, and they haven't even come to a tentative deal. So the union's telling these people, I don't know, there's 10,500 of them or something like that, not to go back to work. The union says the proposed 8% pay raise for the first year didn't go far enough because of inflation. Union President Wesley Lasowski said, we're the national carrier and we have people operating in poverty. That's disgusting and very problematic. He's after the back to work order, the union told the workers to stay home. Screw AC. And that's what they're doing. AC's not flying yet. Now, something might happen today. They say something might happen today. I don't know. I never saw anything happen before I left for the show here. And the union guy said, we'll go to jail before we'll give in. Forget about it. We're not going back to work. Even though Jobs Minister Patty Hajdu laid Section 107 of the Labor Code out to them to send the two sides to binding arbitration and order an end to job action. Stay tuned. This could get pretty ugly. These guys are protesting up in Toronto and everything. It could get pretty wild. But we'll see if the attendants end up going back to work or defy the order and then they want to hang tough with the union. I don't know how long they're going to do it for, but I mean, they said the union, the employees, they can't fire all of us. You can't fire all of us. And they got a point there. You know what they do? Fire 10,500 people, and then who's going to be running the planes? You'll still have to find an alternate airline if you want to travel. That's the last I heard. And we'll see if they go back tomorrow. They said all flights are canceled till the end of today at least. And, it's funny. Even if they do start it up again tomorrow, it probably won't be till the weekend before, maybe next week before they get going. I mean, you don't just park airplanes and let them sit and call everybody back to work, and then all of a sudden you're up and running within like an hour. No, all these planes got to be taken care of, fueled. It's a big deal. It's like getting the trains rolling again. They figured it would take a week for every week they're off to get them going again. And the backup, oh my goodness. Well, there's not a backup. Well, there is a backup a bit for cargo if they couldn't get it out on other airlines, because Air Canada does carry a lot of cargo too. So yeah, there could be a little bit of a backup as far as that goes. Okay, I'm going to get to my third sponsor, Hamel Machine Company. And I always talk about Hamel. I love Hamel because they're so important to the city. They've been around since 1948. And when any industry comes into town, they look for machine shops. Why? Because when something breaks down, they can't wait for parts to come in from all over the world. Time is money. If they're down and they're not producing anything, they're losing tons of money every hour. So they rush over, get Hamel over there, take a look at it. Hamel can either fix it, reverse engineer it, 3D print it, They have water jet cutters to cut out the parts. I mean, they do it all there. They really, really do. And they help the wine industry. They help the agricultural industry. They help just the regular industry, like Rich's Products. They invent new ways to do things for them so they can do it faster, more efficient, and make the company more money. And that's what they're looking for, this kind of expertise. And Hamel has all the right people working for them that have this expertise. Small machine shops are so important in any city, and they attract industry. Since 1948, Hamel's been doing that, and they haven't forgot us. If we need anything repaired, welded, machined, fixed around the house, if you need a new set of gates for your backyard, fabricated, they can do it for you. They haven't forgot about us. They work with us as well. Hamel Machine Company, around since 1948, hamelmachine.ca. You got to go there and see the beautiful work they've done for the wine industry showrooms and the other agricultural products that they make for the industry to make them more efficient. Tell them Paul from Your City, Your Voice sent you. And we thank Hamel for sponsoring the show. They're good corporate citizens, and they also support the city. Been around a long time besides. It's a long time, 1948. More years than I've been around. Over to Crowsfoot. Blackfoot. What's it called? Battle River Crowfoot. That's it. Battle River Crowfoot riding in Alberta, where PP had his hat in the ring with 209 other candidates. This has been held. This has been a huge stronghold for the Conservatives for so many years. They win by 80% there, so it's almost a shoo-in because Pierre Poilievre, he couldn't win his own riding after holding it for 20 years. The guy's a stiff. He couldn't win his own riding. He had a 20% lead in the polls and lost the election to Chili Con Carne, some pencil neck geek who never had a political position before. So they got the riding that he couldn't lose. You call it, it's rigged, basically. It was rigged. He couldn't lose it. And of course he won. So now he's back. He has a seat in Parliament again. He's going to go sit down and he can argue it out with Chili Con Carne if Con Carne ever calls Parliament back, by the way. And that's Chili Con, C-O-N, Con Carne. Yeah, he's coming back now. And I don't think Carney cares about his opinions anyway. He'll get up there and do his usual song and dance about stuff. But Canadians are all asleep at the wheel anyway. They don't care. I mean, here's Carney out there, doesn't call Parliament back in the middle of trade wars, doesn't have a budget and spent $500 billion. We're $2 trillion in debt now in Canada, just blowing money like crazy, giving it away, $213 billion to the European Union for their military, $2.3 billion to the Ukraine. Why? Oh, because they want to rebuild their country. Another $2 billion to them to buy weapons, military aid. And then he gives away more money to Somalia and these other countries. What's he do for Canadians? Squat, because he's here to liquidate Canada. He's here to liquidate Canada, sell to the highest bidder, and you know who he loves? China. So be ready. Canadians totally asleep at the switch. Somebody got a poll that said he has a 64% favorability rating in Canada. Now, yeah, I can't believe that. Do people think he's doing a good job? We're getting hammered at 35% on tariffs. The USMCA is coming up next July, and they could drop it completely, and who knows what tariffs are going to be. Every other country is making a deal with Trump. This goofball with his elbows up attitude can't. He's got Edsel Ford up in Toronto with his big mouth Billy Bass attitude, yelling and screaming at Trump. This doesn't bode well for Canada. And back to PP, I digress with that. How can anyone take him seriously? He lost a 20% lead in the polls. He lost to this guy in Ottawa that he held that riding for 20 years, PP, and he couldn't even win his own riding. They had to give him Crow's Foot, Black Creek, or whatever it's called. What is it? I can never get it right. Battle River, Crowfoot. And I mean, this guy's a loser. PP's out. I mean, I don't think he can. I don't think he's electable. To be honest with you, my opinion, the Conservatives blame it on gerrymandering. Oh, he lost his riding because they moved all the district. Well, okay. When you win a seat for 20 years, gerrymandering shouldn't change anything. You won it for 20 years, and all of a sudden people are saying no. I mean, man, Niagara Falls, there's a lot of people who have been sitting there for 20 years. They get in every time. But this isn't about your regular candidate. He held this for 20 years. He's not a regular candidate. The guy was going to be prime minister, and he couldn't hold his own seat. I mean, they laugh at Max Bernier about it. Well, he can't even win his own seat. but they're not laughing at Pierre. And I'm a conservative. I voted for Pierre. I'm a conservative. I mean, but this guy, I just don't think he's electable. You can't warm up to him. He's like a robot. And has no personality. His speeches are all like canned. And somebody told me, well, I think Chris Regan said, well, the media, if he says anything, big deal. Trump does it all the time. You've got to come up. You can't kowtow to the media or anything. You got to say what you want to say. You can't watch every word and work in sound bites. They'll crucify you maybe, but I mean, that's the way politics is. Stick to what you believe. I mean, I really don't think whether it's PP or somebody else, it's going to make a difference anyway, because the liberals have got the media behind them, the immigrants, the special interest groups, and the globalists. They're putting wind in their sails and allowing them to sail to winds. I mean, there's no way after 10 years of Trudeau, Carney should have even had a chance. Are you kidding me with the scandals, the blackface? Trudeau ruined this country. And you're going to put another liberal in? Yeah, not only are we going to put him in, everybody, we're going to give him a majority. And he almost did get a majority. It's just amazing. And you know what? You might be able to explain one riding with gerrymandering, if that's what you want to do. But you can't blame all the other ridings that voted for Carney. I mean, he won big time. Oh, yeah, Pierre grabbed another 25 seats. Big deal. Carney almost won a majority. He's not electable, PP, and I'm going to say that again. And nobody's going to convince me otherwise. I mean, the proof is in the pudding. What do you need? You think because he's going to be there as the leader of the opposition and standing up and saying goofy things that's going to get him the next election? I don't know. To me, he's done. They run him again, he's going to get his ass kicked. I think the Conservative Party itself is done. Not in Canada. There's just too many people that have come in open borders that'll vote liberal. They like socialism. They like the way it's going. They want everything for free. They're not going to go against the golden goose, the Liberal Party. Hey, leave comments. Tell me if I'm wrong. Leave comments. And I know there's going to be a lot of people who disagree with me, but then just take a look. Open your eyes, take a look, and see what you see. You disagree with me? Well, then you got to tell me why, because I don't see the same as everybody else is seeing with this Poilievre guy. I just don't think he's electable. Okay, has anybody else been following any science and space stories? A strange object roaring through the solar system labeled 31 Atlas. 7-mile long object is unlike any comet that has been tracked before. Strange trajectory, unusual motion, and many scientists believe it is more than just a comet. For one thing, it doesn't behave like a typical comet. Its movements appear to be guided, almost as if it's being steered somehow. Avi Loeb, a Harvard professor, believes this could be an alien spacecraft passing through our cosmic neighborhood. And although many dismiss this possibility, Loeb cautions everyone to keep an open mind. If we never look for extraordinary evidence, We will never find extraordinary truth. And this is a weird thing that's going on right now. And there's a lot of people saying that it's either a scout, and it's watching Earth. It was sent by some other race. It could be millions of years old and just got here. And then it's going back to report. But it's going to make its closest approach to the sun October 29th, giving scientists an opportunity to gather more data on it and perhaps understand whether it's just a huge, oddly behaving comet or the first real sign of alien technology. Stay tuned to this one. This story is just getting started. And there's another one that they've been watching is Gawa, Guma Guma or something, and they suspect the same of that. There's weird things happening out there, and I don't know. They may manifest themselves before the end of this year. We may see something that um, nobody's ready for, but we've all suspected all along. Okay, over to my last sponsor, the Niagara Parks Commission. And I mean, can we say enough about the Niagara Parks Commission? They employ hundreds of people in the city. I mean, it's just a good corporate citizen, but they're also guardians of 32 miles of the most beautiful parkland in the world. And they do a tremendous job from Fort Erie to Niagara on the Lake, with the centerpiece being one of the 7 natural wonders of the world, Niagara Falls. The Niagara Parks has been taking care of it well over 100 years. And you go down there and tourists are blown away. And we don't go down there enough. We're guilty. I'm guilty. We should get down to the Parks Commission more. And it's not just the Niagara Falls that we want to see. I hear it from my porch every night. But what they have done, the Niagara Parks Commission, is offered you attractions. And not just your regular carnival stuff. They offer attractions, refurbished powerhouses that supplied power to the Northeast for so many years, way back when. They've refurbished these plants up. They've opened them to the public. You can go on a tour, see how they work, and finally go through the wastewater tunnels right to the river just below the falls. They have the scenic tunnels. You can go right to the edge of the falls and actually look up and see the water coming down right beside you. They have zip lines that run you right down the gorge. You look at the American Falls if you look one way, and straight at the Canadian Falls if you look straight ahead. They have the Spanish aerial car that runs over the whirlpool, which is in the middle of the churn that where the river comes from Niagara Falls, and Lake Erie makes the turn through the whirlpool and goes straight down to Lake Ontario. It's amazing, and they haven't stopped at these beautiful, beautiful attractions you can have. They have packages for all this, by the way, but they have another one coming. It's called Niagara Takes Flight, and it's immersive. It's an immersive attraction where you actually sit there and you take a trip from Lake Ontario to Lake Erie, down the Niagara River, seeing all the rapids, seeing the whirlpool, visiting history along the way. A lot of battles were fought in this area. The War of 1812 brought the British against the Americans. Laura Secord, some of these people in history, they lived right here. And they'll take you through all this history while giving you an immersive view of the river. It's amazing. I had somebody say that they went to it before the grand opening, I think it's August 29th. They said it was just fantastic. And something that's way beyond what was ever been offered by the Niagara Parks Commission. All I can say is if you live in town, get your attractions pass, go down there and see the attractions. If you don't live in town, you've probably already been here. 14 million people come here a year, and you've probably seen a lot of this stuff already. And get ready for that Niagara Takes Flight. It's going to be something. Niagara Parks Commission, custodians of the most beautiful parkland, get down there. We don't do it enough as locals. And you can go to NiagaraParks.com to see all the different attractions they have to offer in their attractions passages. Support the Niagara Parks Commission. Support all our sponsors. They support the city. They're good corporate citizens. Okay, and we gotta talk about the United States. We gotta talk about these big meetings that happen. And the first one, of course, was Putin's meeting with Trump. Of course, the wacky left can never accept success by Trump. So that Putin played Trump like a fiddle. That's what people were saying. And I don't know why they think that. I can't understand it. But right now, after the meeting with Zelensky and all the leaders of European nations, they're pretty quiet. I mean, the TDS runs wild. Whenever they open their mouths, they're usually wrong. They just don't learn. They look like fools at the end of the day. They really don't help the situation. I mean, Trump wants peace between Ukraine and the Russians. He met with Putin. I don't think by his look that the meeting went exactly the way he would have liked it. But Putin came to Alaska to have this meeting. He came to American soil, which is great. Now I can see people saying, "Oh, Trump bent a knee to him." If Trump went to Moscow, but he didn't. Putin came to Alaska, and it was beautiful the way Trump had it laid out. I mean, everything's planned. Everything's planned from Trump's handshake right to everything. They know what they're doing. And with the flyover of the stealth bomber and the F-35 sitting on the ground and everything else, it was just a beautiful scene. And he's trying to make peace. And this didn't start under Trump; it started under Biden. So when he took this over, when he got elected, his one goal was for peace, and that's what he's aiming for. So he had a great meeting yesterday with the heads of state. He had Zelensky, who, by the way, came over in a suit. Yes, he had a suit jacket on, not his war fatigues or whatever the hell he wore last time, sweatpants. He had a jacket on, and they commented on it. You look fantastic. And they were there. He invited the European leaders to come with Zelensky: Meloni from Italy, Macron from France, Alexander Stubb from Finland, Keir Starmer from the UK, Frederick Merz from Germany, European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen, and Secretary General of NATO Mark Rutte all showed up in Washington with Zelensky to talk peace. The only European there left out was Chili con carne, and you say he's not European. Oh, he wants to be part of the European Union. He said it, and everybody's going, "How can you be? You're from Europe, you moron." But he said it anyway. Chili con carne wasn't there, but there was a real nice plant standing there in his honor. They let a plant stand in his space. But a guy can dream, can he? He wants to be part of the European Union. He can dream. These crazy Canadians elect these whack jobs. Zelensky's big concern was a guarantee that if a peace agreement is signed, he wanted guarantees that Russia won't invade again in several years. They've been known to lie, so I can understand why he's looking for that. Now, although Ukraine is not a NATO member, so Article 5 can't be handed down if Putin gets out of hand again, there are ways to guarantee outside of Article 5 that Russia will not pull another stunt. And the reason they have to look for ways outside of Article 5 is because the one thing that will not happen is Ukraine being part of NATO. That's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. So he's getting guarantees from everybody that if this guy does anything, Putin, they're going to step in. They're going to step in. And the land, of course, was also an issue. They're never going to get Crimea back, but the Donetsk and the Donbass areas, they might make a deal with something like that. We'll have to see. But at the end of the day, Trump says, "Hey, I can only get them together. I can't make decisions. They've got to figure this out themselves." And they asked Trump if he would mediate it, and he said, "Yeah, if you want me to, I'll be there for a trilateral agreement," they're calling it. Putin, Zelensky, and Trump in the middle, trying to work this out between them. So it's interesting that Putin agreed to a meeting within the next 2 weeks, and hopefully they can put a deal together that ends this war, and Trump can mediate it, and it all works out and stop all the killing and that. He's wanted peace from day one, Trump, and everybody's going, "Oh, you said he was going to end it in 24 hours." Well, you know what? Before you can end anything, you got to have two people that want to end it. It takes two to tango. And now he's got them to the point where they might want to just end it. And Trump has no other skin in the game. I mean, at the end of the day, it's 7,000 miles away. There's 7,000 miles of ocean between us. It's not happening in North America. So, like, do what you want to do over there. I'm here to stop it. But if you guys don't have the ability to stop it, I can't stop it. You've got to stop it. And if the United States says they're going to be backing him, look at this guy. He looks like Chumley. You ever watch Pawn Stars? There's Chumley walking around up there. But if they don't have the appetite to stop it, as long as Trump can give guarantees and say, listen, if anything happens, we're going to be there, because NATO is the United States. Let's face it. They're the biggest funders. They put the most money in. They have the best weapons, the best systems in the world. If they're there backing them up, then everything will be fine. So they can have their guarantees. And and they asked him, well, what happens after you go? Well, Trump said, well, I mean, the people of the United States elect the right leaders, then you're not going to have any problems. If they elect some kook like Newsom, or this ticket here, how about this ticket? Crockett and AOC, president and vice presidents. I don't think their IQ adds up to 100, and they're gonna. This is the best thing that could happen to the Republicans. Easy win for Vance. Easy win for Marco Rubio or any of the other people that are working on this stuff. Tulsi Gabbard. Easy win. Easy win if those two are going to be on the ticket. So, yeah, the guarantee is the American people want peace too, and they'll do the right thing when it comes to the election. While we're on the topic of Trump, and it's an interesting connection between Trump and the Niagara area, and a guy named Jimmy Lai. Now, who's Jimmy Lai? Well, he's the hotelier who owns 4 big hotels in Niagara-on-the-Lake. The Vintage hotel chain includes the Oban Inn, Prince of Wales, Queen's Landing, Pillar and Post. Those 4 are all owned by Jimmy Lai and run by his sister, and partly owned by his sister, probably, C.Y. Lai. Now, he's been in a Chinese prison in solitary confinement since 2020. And at 77 years old, he's not in the greatest of health. He owned a media business in Hong Kong, and in addition to the alleged sedition charges China laid on him, the communists, he's also accused of practicing journalism, speaking to politicians about politics, and raising concerns about accountability for human rights violations in Hong Kong. Lai was also a successful clothier before Hong Kong was handed back to China, which changed everything for him in his newspaper, his media. So how was Trump involved? Well, he's promised to get Jimmy out of jail. Says, I'm going to get you out of prison, Jimmy Lai. That might be Lai, C.Y. Lai. I think it was C.Y. Lai. But it's Jimmy Lai. One of those two. I don't know how you pronounce it, but that's it. Trump said he's going to speak with China, Xi, about Lai's release, and has also instructed Secretary of State Marco Rubio to try and get Lai released, of which Rubio said getting Lai out of prison is a top priority for him. The British are also working to get their citizen out of the Hoosgow because he is a UK citizen right now. So Jimmy Lai, whatever you want to say, has been a vocal supporter of Trump and his administration. He visited the former U.S. Vice President Pence and other government officials in 2019 before he got thrown in jail. And at the height of the pro-democracy protests in China in 2020, interview with CNN, Jimmy Lai said, Trump was the only person that could save us. You can stop China's aggression. So that's what he said. Trump can do it. Jimmy said Trump can also save the world. Listen to Jimmy. Be like Jimmy. Jimmy knows. Thanks to Kevin Werner from Niagara This Week for the in-depth article. And that's a nice little connection to Niagara. CY Live's been around a long time. She owned a little motel on um, Roberts Street. Now it's called the Veterans Highway, or Highway 420, if you will, and moved on to bigger and better things from there. And they own those hotels in Niagara Lake. Jimmy is the financer. He had a lot of money, Jimmy, and Trump's going to get him out. That's our connection, and that's it for me today. Show over. But tomorrow I'll be back with Habsolutely. What's going on with the Habs? Well, if you're a Habs fan, you want to know, and the place to go is right here, 4680Q, Paul K. Lemire, Habsolutely tomorrow. And on that note, I will sign off for today. And check out yesterday's show. Very, very interesting. We said a little bit about it today, and there's going to be more about this. And Alan McKay's coming back in, so it's going to be good. Thursday will be our normal straight talk Thursday. Finally Friday, we'll end up the week. And we're moving into next week, where I believe we're going to be heading towards a city council meeting very soon. I think it's August 27th. I'm not something like that. And 25th, maybe 26th, something like that. But we're moving towards that. Dave Wheeler will be in to share the show with me to talk about city council agenda. So lots going on towards the end of the month. We have 12 more days left before the end of the month, and we move into September and the Labor Day weekend. And time flies. Time flies when you're having fun. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. I really appreciate all of you. I appreciate all the subscribers. Get out there and subscribe to the channel on YouTube. Come on. We're at 159, 160. We got to get to 200, as soon as possible. The more, the merrier. And all I can say is God bless you all. Thank you for tuning in. I really, really appreciate it. We'll see you tomorrow with Habsolutely, and back on Thursday with more Niagara Falls city stuff and around the world city stuff. There's lots happening that we got to keep track of. Take care, everybody. Have a great rest of the day. We might get some rain. You never know. Take care.